From Al Jazeera, the fight started small, but soon escalated into a brawl as men armed with swords, hammers, machetes, and even handguns took to the streets. In the end, dozens were hospitalized and 2 men died. And linked the article in the description below. I definitely encourage you to check it out. And I was just so blown away when I read this article because I've been to Bangkok a few times and I never saw anything like this. People have guns in Bangkok? I had no idea. I thought it was similar to Vietnam or to northern China or to South Korea where these things are just simply banned. I might lose conservative followers, but I think that, in societies without guns, they tend to work, but then we have to look at Tiananmen Square and other situations like that. So I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole today. I just wanted to point out how strange it is to hear about machine guns in Bangkok, because in my times there, I have never seen anything like that. But this isn't over politics. Now, see, I remember when I lived in Korea in the late 2000s, right? There were people who would go there, and there were these red shirt and yellow shirt uprisings, and sometimes political factors would get in the way of vacations. And I even heard of one unlucky tourist who got stuck in an airport because they weren't able to leave because of the violence that was happening outside. And so that was their wasted vacation from teaching English in Korea. Very sad to hear about this. They talk about how 800 baht is the daily salary for a driver in Bangkok, which is, that's less than what I pay for just moderate, not even a good, but just basic hotel room when I stay there for one night or a few nights. I feel like I saved a lot of money if I talk them down to 1,000 baht in some of the places I stay at, because I don't want to stay at a cramped youth hostel or anything. But I think that's amazing that that's what people live on for one entire day. And Bangkok is definitely crowded. It's one of those places where why even get a taxi? It's faster to walk. I think, since I got a bicycle out here in Hanoi, I've actually saved time. I've saved a lot of money because I'm not always putting gas in it. I'm not paying rental fees, or I'm not paying for getting a nice new bike or whatever. Like, it's saved a lot of money, and I've actually gotten places faster because if you walk or if you have a bicycle, you can actually navigate things. The other thing, Bangkok has a really good rail system. Unlike Hanoi or even Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, right? You can take the train everywhere. It reminds me of DC or New York or Chicago. Those are 3 cities where you can always rely absolutely. I've heard, of course, San Francisco and LA, they must have rails or something, but I've always just driven around. Anyway, the other thing about this article that made me want to make a video about it is the fact that it's regarding taxi drivers, and taxi drivers rising up against Grab and Uber. Now, to give you some background, I used to be a taxi driver. I've been a taxi driver in Wisconsin and in Illinois. And the Wisconsin days were a little bit different because this was before Uber and Grab. This was like right before that point. And I could make 20, 30 bucks an hour just if I knew the right places to go. Like, I could really cash in. And it was such a cool job because I would start at 6 p.m. and work until 6 a.m. And I would come home with just pockets full of cash. It was so cool. And there would always be a couple hours where I could just chill. Like, I'd go home and I'd watch a movie or go to the gas station, just have some microwave burgers or something. It was really a fun job. And I sort of wanted to go back to that in the Illinois days before I came out. Directly before I came out to Vietnam, I was driving a taxi in the western suburbs of Chicago, Aurora and all that, Wayne's World, that area. That's the Wayne's World area was where I was driving taxi. And some nights I would make, 50 or 100 bucks, but there were even a couple nights where I would actually lose money. And it was just ridiculous. I'd sit there begging, I'd have my Rubik's Cube in a bar or something, and I didn't have the charisma maybe everyone was just so used to using Grab and Uber. And so I'd see these jackasses, like I'd be in a legit taxi with a legit meter, and I'd see these jackasses pull up with just regular cars and take all my customers. So I feel for these poor drivers in Bangkok. And another thing, before I close out here, just wanted to say that totally support green living. And as much as I love, like, motorcycles are awesome. If I lived in the country, I would have like a 150cc bike, totally. But like out here, no. Give me a bicycle. It's safer, it saves money, it's faster. Because when you're stuck in the traffic out here, it's so much easier just to take a bike and just lift it over a curb, and you get where you're going faster a lot of the time. But and so I think people in Bangkok, use your train, use bicycles. Let's put an end to everybody taking bikes everywhere. This is ridiculous. And for drivers, I'm sorry, but automation. This is what Andrew Yang warned us about. This is apps and stuff taking away our jobs. So and as for taxi drivers in Bangkok, you just have to find a new line of work, perhaps. Over and out.